Let's go to the mutual fund data for the month of May. We've just gotten it and looks like it has been a decline across most of the categories, be it debt, be it equity. That is where we have seen inflows halving on a month-on-month basis, especially on the equity scheme side. It's a 2,906 crore rupees of inflows, which compares with 5,200 crore rupees that was seen in the month of April and compares with 20,190 crore rupees of inflows that we had seen in the month of March. Of course, March is a bigger number usually, but the fall has been sharp in last couple of months. If we look at the debt funds as well, it has halved from 1.06 lakh crores. It has come down to levels of 45,000 crore rupees. What is positive here is that small cap inflows, they have increased. The mid cap inflows also have seen an impact this time around. So small cap funds, remember, they have been continuously doing really well. And this time around, the number has jumped substantially to levels of 3,283 crore rupees. This fall that we've seen in the equity funds this time around has come in again from the large cap funds. So large cap outflows are to the tune of 1,362 crore rupees, which compares with inflows of 52 crore rupees. Already we were seeing dwindling of inflows in the large cap category. They had fallen to levels of 52 crore rupees from levels of 911 crore rupees, and now we are seeing it's an outflow here in the large cap schemes, not an inflow, to the tune of 1,362 crore rupees. So that is an important number to track as well. In fact, we have with us Mr. Swarup Mohanty, who is the Chief Executive Officer at Mirae Asset Investment Managers, and also have with us Mr. Anthony Heredia, who is the MD and CEO at Mahindra Manulife Mutual Fund. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Swarup, let me come to you. This fall that we have seen, or the outflow that we've seen in the large cap segment, what explains that? And do you think this is something we'll continue to see? Because large cap flows have actually been dwindling for quite some time now.
Sonal, thank you so much for having me. I think I'm not surprised that the flow is showing the way. Maybe the quantity is a little higher than what I had expected. You know, when there's a broad call in the market that the large cap alpha is in a certain way and the market runs up, you expect some kind of, profit booking happening there, and that is what is happening. And if you see the broad behavior, there is this shift of risk towards small cap. I just hope people are aware of the increase in risk in their portfolios when they go dramatically from investing in core funds like large flexi or multi to small cap directly. But that seems to be the flavor of the market. And from the mutual fund side, you were talking about 20,000 in March, and prior to that, we used to get a lot of NFOs then to pick up some of the figures from an industry perspective. But the NFOs have also come down. So this is a factor of what is happening in the market. A little surprised to see the debt side, I think, but the taxation there probably playing out. But I'm not surprised by the behavior or the trend of the market. And to answer your question, yes, I think the large cap outflow will continue.
Okay, large cap outflow will continue. That's interesting. Anthony Heredia is also with us. Anthony, your thoughts on outflows from large caps and even on the debt side, right? I mean, it's almost half this time around. Any thoughts there?
So, Sonia, I agree with Swarup. You think about the narrative for the last 3 or 6 months in terms of, passives in the large cap space and the lack of alpha within active. I think that's just playing out in terms of the redemptions from that space. You counter that with the very strong narrative on relative valuations of small cap, and you kind of almost see a situation where small cap accounts for over 100% of the net flows. And I also concur with Swarup. I don't think this trend will change. As an industry, however, I think there's a lot of effort being made to kind of tell investors that they should think of flexi and multi-cap if they have a view about large caps kind of being tough to look at from an active standpoint. Debt, I think it's the fallout. I think we had an extraordinary month in March where everybody came in the last week because of the tax law change. I would only point one positive. I think some of the flow that would have otherwise gone to debt is now going into a new category called multi-asset. I mean, multi-asset has been a category for the past, but I think it's now getting more and more momentum. I can see the numbers climbing up, virtually every month. So my call would be, I think for the next 3 to 6 months, you'll continue to see strong SIP numbers because people, given valuations, prefer to do it systematically. You'll see multi-cap, flexi-cap, small cap, and you probably will see a continued rebound in multi-asset.
Okay, so multi-asset could be the next big category to watch out for, and that's been the case since the time debt taxation norms actually kicked in, right? One more question, Swarup, on the small cap side, because that is one category that has continuously been seeing positive flows. In fact, last financial year, it saw only inflows, and there seems to be a lot of interest there as well. Do you think these large cap outflows that we are seeing right now is going into that category? Anything else that you're liking?
No, I think at this moment the large cap outflow is money off the table, and I think some of it will start going into the index, the Nifty 50s, or probably our call is the next 50. It looks very attractive right now. But the new investors or the new investment flow that is coming in is consistently into small caps. I think what Anthony says is correct. I think it's been above the mid cap, which is a little strange to see, and this is where I continuously say I hope and pray that the investors are aware of the increase in the risk profile. Nothing for or against small caps, but if you were a large cap investor and now buying small caps, I think you should be aware of the increase in the risk profile in your portfolio. That's all.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, overall, if you look at it, equity inflows at 6-month lows, right? That's the big headline, really. And there's a dip that we've seen month on month as well. Does that bring about some amount of caution, Anthony? How do you see the way forward? And what explains this 6-month low in inflows? I mean, what would the sort of the prognosis be?
Wouldn't be too cautious because, let's break the number into two parts, right? Gross flows and redemptions. And it's very clear that the redemptions this month have been maybe 40% higher than the previous month. And it's reflective of the conversations we have on the ground. I mean, a lot of customers, when they see markets hitting all-time highs, want to take some money off the table. I think from an industry long-term perspective, it's good, right? I mean, you want customers to make money. So I don't see a change in the gross flow patterns. I think we're looking at 25 to 30,000 crores every month. I think the industry has to brace itself for net flows to be obviously lower, because if markets continue to trace highs, we will see net flow numbers come off. The other point I just want to make on why is the flow going to small caps is also got to do somewhat with the kind of sectors people are positive in, right? I mean, industrials, cap goods, discretionary. A lot of these companies are within the small and mid cap space, right? And you have headwinds potentially in technology, pharma and stuff, which is more large cap. So I think some of that narrative is also playing out in terms of fund choices, in my view.
Okay, Anthony and Swarup, thank you so much for joining us today, making sense of these mutual fund numbers. So SIP numbers is something that we are awaiting. That is something we'll get on the call. Time for a break now. On the other side, Manisha Gupta will